Hey y'all, and welcome to The Cutest Little Thing. My name is Andrea, and I'm so glad to have you here today. I'm from southeastern North Carolina, and I love all things vintage, thrifted, upcycled, and DIY'd, and you will find all of those things here on my channel. I also have 2 vendor booths in my local small town where I sell my crafts and decor pieces. I'm so excited for today's project, so let's go ahead and get started. This project starts out with a piece that I grabbed from my local Goodwill. It is solid wood. I love the piece. It's a great size, and I only paid a couple of dollars for it. Now, the piece on the front, I love that old vintage look of that artwork, but the piece that it was on was water damage or maybe even sun damage, and it was flimsy and almost like a cardboard material. So I just went ahead and removed that whole front piece, and then it left all of this cardboard residue. I think it may have been attached with glue. So I just wet that and let it soak for a while, and then I rubbed off as much as I could and then went in with a very coarse piece of sandpaper and removed the rest until I got a nice smooth flat surface to work with on the front of this piece. This surface is perfect for milk paint, so I grabbed the color Creamy in the Sweet Pickins milk paint. And if you're not familiar with this milk paint, it does come in a powdered form, and you mix equal parts powder to your water. I normally have a tablespoon scooper that I use in my craft room, so I'll do a scoop of that in the powder and then a scoop of water. You want to mix it really well. You can let it sit for a minute or two to thicken up, and then you are ready to go in and paint. So I did one full coat on this piece, the first coat. I let it dry completely, then I did go in with a second coat as well. Once that second coat was good and dry, I grabbed my muslin fabric. I get this fabric off of Amazon in a bulk pack, and I will have the link in my description of the video if you're watching on YouTube. So I cut me a piece. I wanted to make a wall pocket out of this piece. So I just wanted to cover half with my fabric. So I turned it around to the back just to make sure where I needed to place it. And then I just used hot glue to glue. I kind of folded it up to the back of the piece and attached it all the way around with my hot glue. And once this glue sets, I'll come in with my heavy duty staple gun and attach it even better with the stapler, but I was kind of doing this for a temporary hold, but this hot glue will hold it really well. After that was all set, I flipped it back to the other side, and I have this piece of fabric that I ran through my inkjet printer and printed this Farm Fresh Organic Eggs label on. You can trick your printer into printing on fabric, and I'll be doing a video tutorial on that soon. I've done one before, but it's been a while. I want to do an updated one for you. After I got the fabric trimmed and good to go where it would be centered for the front, again, I just used my hot glue to place this fabric label onto the front of my piece. And I just did a bead of hot glue on all 4 sides and pressed it down. Next, we are ready to fill our pocket with some greenery and some other embellishments. These greenery pieces I get from Walmart. They are the Boxwood picks, and they're only a couple of dollars each, and so much greenery comes on a pick, and I really love these for summer, the colors and everything, summer and spring. And I ended up only needing 1 pick in this. I thought 2 was just a little too much. I also had this little egg chicken piece I got from my Dollar General. And then I did decide to add some raffia in the background behind the greenery and everything else. And I get my raffia from Hobby Lobby, but you can also get it from Amazon, Walmart, and the dollar store may have it. I found these cute eggs in my stash. They have like a basket wicker type material covering them. I think I got these eggs from Target. I can't remember exactly because I have had them a while, But I decided to attach these dowel rods, and you saw I just stuck the dowel rod right into the bottom of the egg where I could stick these into my greenery and into my wall pocket where they would still be tall enough to stick out. So I grabbed 3 and I stuck the dowel rods in the bottom, and then I placed them in my wall pocket. And of course, we have to add a bow, and I do have a new Bowmaker. I had Kat from Pickett's Crafts to send me this. Her brother, Homestead Crafter DIY, makes these wooden Bowmakers, and they are awesome. So head on over to Homestead Crafter DIY to get yours. But she sent me this one day before I went live on Facebook. I stepped on my Bodabra, and I was telling everybody about it on my live that day, and she messaged me and wanted my address and sent me this. So I was very excited, and I will say I love this Bowmaker. It is awesome. So I'm just looping different fabrics in here. I had some stained cheesecloth. I also had some Jubilee homespun fabric. Y'all know how I love that. And I even put some pieces of that raffia in here as well to add to this bow. Once I added the amount of fabric that I wanted, I simply pulled it out of the Bowmaker and tied my jute string into a double knot, and then just kind of trim it how you would like it. I had to trim up some of that raffia just a little bit, put a big dab of hot glue on the back, and I just pressed it right in the corner of our wall pocket. And then you can just adjust those loops how you need to. Hold it for a little bit, giving that hot glue time to dry where it will stay put. Now, I'm loving this as is, but y'all know how I am with my coffee grunge. So I wanted to dye this fabric some with my coffee grunge. And all that is hot water, instant coffee, cinnamon, vanilla. You can add other spices as well. Sometimes I add pumpkin pie spice. You can add ginger, cloves, things like that. Mix it all up. Store it in your refrigerator between uses. And I just paint it on with a paintbrush. Paint the fabric all over, and this just gives it more of a primitive feel, a vintage, worn out feel. I just wanted to make this look old and a little more on the primitive side. Now, if you don't like this look, just skip it altogether. You can, have the fabric how it was and not stain it, or you could just lightly brush the edges of your piece with some dark wax maybe. But I just love the coffee grunge. So I applied it all over and I let that dry. And here's how it looks. And once I did that, I decided I needed, my egg wouldn't fit in my coffee grunge container. So I poured it in a bigger jar and I just dunked those eggs into my coffee grunge mixture. And that dyed those eggs as well, because they were a little too light compared to the grungy look of my wall pocket. And you can just use it as dye and dunk your pieces right in there to get them all good and grungy. I stuck the eggs back in, and here is our finished look. This is after our coffee grunge is good and dry. Those eggs have had time to dry as well. And I just love how this piece turned out. I love the grunginess of it. I will say off camera, I went in with my Sweet Pickins beeswax in the dark, and where we painted our board, the creamy color, I did go in with that wax on those sides, and I dingied that up as well. So it would go with our grungy look. But y'all let me know what you think of this. I absolutely love it. I think it is the cutest little thing. I hope that you are enjoying today's content. If you are and you're not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider before you leave today, hit that notification bell. Be sure you are receiving all notifications. I would love for you to become part of our YouTube family. Okay, let's get back to the DIYs. Moving right along to our next project, I have this very large frame that I thrifted from my local Goodwill. And y'all, I apologize for this video in advance because it was so hard filming these large pieces. Look at this coffee bean sack I got from a booth where one of my vendor booths are located. This was in another booth and I was so excited to see it. It was a very large coffee bean sack. So I knew I had that large frame at home in my stash, and I wanted to frame this coffee bean sack. So I measured it, I eyed it. Have y'all ever heard that term? And I cut it. I took my frame apart and I took this was like a foam piece that was on the inside of that frame behind the glass and everything. And I just lined the piece of that coffee bean sack up on the front how I wanted it to be displayed. And then I overlapped the rest of it coming over to the back. And the bird image, I really loved it, but the camera really enhances it because in person, this birdie image was very faded. So when I thrifted this piece, I knew I was just thrifting it for the frame itself because it was a really nice wooden frame and I got it for just a couple of dollars. So I wanted that white part to be on the front because as you can see, you can kind of see through that coffee bean sack. So I didn't want you to be able to see that bird. So that's why I did it backwards like that. But see this frame, all of that detail and that beautiful those beautiful little designs going all the way around it. And of course, I wanted to use milk paint on this. And of course, I wanted to use a green shade. And I just mixed equal parts powder to water. Oh, and this is the color Basil in the Sweet Pickins milk paint. And if y'all did not know, I am a retailer for the Sweet Pickins milk paint. All you have to do is go over to my Facebook page, message me on there to place your order. I keep the $7 smaller packs in stock, and I have the paint charts pinned to the top of my page so you can see all the beautiful colors. Just send me a message of the colors that you would like to order along with your mailing address and your email address, and I will invoice you through PayPal and get those on their way to you. And I just went in with this beautiful green color all the way around this frame. I did end up doing 2 coats, so I just let the first coat dry completely, and I did use my heat tool to dry it because you can apply heat to your milk paint and it will help with chipping more. So if you do want chipping more, just apply that heat. Now that that frame is all dry, I'm going in with my heavy duty staple gun, and I just went and applied staples where we hot glued our bean sack. I just wanted to make sure it would hold in place, so I wanted to staple that as well. Now I'm using this paper just to go over the back. I get this paper from Amazon. I use it for shipping, but it's a thicker paper, so I thought it would be great for the background of this picture as well. And I just stapled that all the way around it. And y'all, here it is. I just absolutely love it. Again, I apologize this video isn't the best because it was a challenge to get this very large frame in the screen. But I love it. There's a few wrinkles in the sack, but I'm hoping this was right after I got it finished when I did the staging pictures and videos. So I'm hoping those wrinkles will kind of fall out because the sack was all folded up when I bought it. And look how it looks with our other piece that we did. I just love it, y'all. Let me know what you think of this. And as you can see where that milk paint did some chipping and showed the wood of that frame underneath. And the green in the coffee bean sack matches the basil color perfectly. And I did zoom in where you could see all that beautiful chipping. This piece just turned out beautiful. Let me know what you think. Moving right along with our farmhouse theme we have going on, I have this tin bucket that I thrifted. It had a Christmas tree on it, And I just took a label that I printed from it, or I purchased from Etsy, and I purchased from Etsy, and then I printed it on my inkjet printer on muslin fabric. And now I have these wooden spoons and spatulas that I thrifted as well. And I'm taking these crockery stamps. These are the IOD crockery stamps. And I just chose a couple that I wanted to use from the pack. I inked those up with my IOD ink pad. And I just simply stamped that right onto that big spoon. I thought about painting these with some milk paint and giving them some chippy look, but then I just decided to leave them the original wood color that they were. I like that look as well. And I just made sure the spoon had a little dip in it, so I kind of went down in the center of the stamp first and then let the sides fall and land where they landed. And then that's what we had. And then on the other one, I took this cow head that I got in a stamp pack from Temu, and I just inked that up and stamped that right in the center of that wooden spatula. And I just thought that was super cute. And then I added a vintage egg beater to those with that fork, and I tied them all together with a piece of jute string first. I just wanted to kind of get them tight where they would hold together with that jute string. And then I took some Jubilee homespun fabric in those jelly rolls, and then I ripped those jelly rolls into thinner pieces and then just layer them in your bow dabra. I'll do loops, and then I'll do pieces of ribbon until I get the bow, the size, and the look that I want. Pull up on those jute strings and get that out of the bow dabra, and then I will double knot it to make sure it's good and tight. I embellished that bow with a cute rusty bell. I decided to put 2 on there, and these little mini rusty bells, I get these off of Amazon. And then I just put that right where I had tied that piece of jute string. And I just tied it around that and double knotted that. I didn't hot glue it or anything, just in case, you know, you wanted to remove it later or change out the bow or change it up in any way. It would not be hot glued. And then I added a piece of burlap draped over the tin bucket, as well as those wooden spatulas. And y'all, just like that, look how cute this is with a thrifted tin bucket, a label, and some wooden spatulas. How cute is this display? And you could display them in the bucket with some other kitchen spatulas, rolling pins, you name it. Anything would be super cute. Or just lay them out the bucket with a stack of books on a shelf, on your hutch, in your kitchen. However, I just think they are so cute displayed like this. Y'all let me know what you think of this one. I am so excited to announce that I am now an affiliate for Digital Deco Designs. If you are not familiar with this company, I hope that you will go and check out their Facebook page and their website. Here are just a few recent projects that I have done using their prints. You can get rice papers ordered and delivered to your mailbox, or you can purchase the instant downloads and print them at home. I will include my affiliate link in the description of this video, and you can also find my affiliate link over at my Facebook page pinned to the top of my page. And here are our projects from today, all staged up once again for one last look. I hope that you loved how these turned out today. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you're watching from, and also let me know if you are new to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a blessed rest of your week, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye for now, friends. I am a retailer for the Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. You can contact me over on my Facebook business page All you have to do is send me a message. I keep the $7 packs in stock. And I also have the link to my Facebook page in the description of this video. So message me for your milk paint orders, and I appreciate all of your support. And exciting news, I'm hoping next week I will be streaming live on YouTube the same days that I stream live over on Facebook. And right now that is Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come and join me for those live crafting segments. Thanks again for watching, friends. Have a blessed rest of your week, and I'll see you on the next one.